Hello and welcome to FountainFX on Tuesday the 17th of June 2014. We are looking at the Euro US dollar on the 15-minute chart. We are waiting for the European news to do with the German economic sentiment to be released at 11 o'clock, and price is starting to push quite strongly up towards this previous area of resistance at the 135.85, roughly around about there. If I stick a line on it, we'll be able to see it more clearly. So you go 135.86, so that's really the high at that point. And prior to that, price has been low. So there's a statement which is buy the rumour, sell the news. So as we can see, price is pushing up, which means that it's doing exactly what is expected, which is prior to the news, people are speculating it's going to be good for the euro, so price is pushing up. So we'll wait and see what the news actually is when it comes out, and then we'll see how the market reacts after the news. We'll see whether or not it does actually sell off. If it gets all the way up to the 135.86 would be good, and then we want to be able to watch it then turn and push all the way back down again. So that would give a nice opportunity for a short, but we will see exactly what the euro is going to do after 11 o'clock. And at 11 o'clock the news comes out. German economic sentiment is poor, very negative, so down on both counts. So if the German economic sentiment is bad, what would you expect to happen to the euro? You'd expect the euro to fall. So that's the typical thing that should be happening. So let's go and see if the euro is actually falling from its highs. So we've come down into the 1 minute chart. As we can see here, early this morning, price started to push up around about 10 o'clock, pushed all the way up to this high of the 135.76. Bad news came out at 11 o'clock. And this is where the news came out, and it was negative news. So we had an initial sell-off reaction, and then price turned and pulled back up, created a double top, and then has turned and started to sell off. Would be nice to see it sell off a lot harder than this. So in the trade, we're selling the euro because of the negative news. And this is just trying to show you an example about how to trade the news. But we can see the MACD is pushing down from this high here, crossed over at that point as well. It's starting to push down. Also, the RSI is down, and so we want to see this continue down. When it breaks this trend line that I've plotted, then we may look to actually get out of the trade. But we want to see this continue with some momentum down as it continues to sell off from the bad news or the negative news of the German economy, which is not good. So we shall see how it continues. So we now get a pullback. So we've got the start of the sell-off. Prices then pulled back. We want to see this down candlestick. We want to see this bearish candlestick break below this low. So we want to see it continue to push down for us to see a continuation of this sell-off. In the hope that it does actually sell off. It would be nice to see it come all the way back down to the origin of this morning's move upwards, and as we can see, it's not selling off. So it may be a case of saying, right, now's the time to get out. It hasn't really done what we expected it to do, which is actually sell off. So we shall see. Price is really struggling to get lower. You can see that here. It's come into this area of previous resistance if we run the line across. So price is literally, it has done the sell-off, negative news, but it hasn't really sold off with any conviction. Fortunately, it hasn't broken the trend line yet. My entry is just above here, the dotted line, and I've placed my stop above at the highs. It's one of those sort of areas where do we get impatient and therefore close our trade, or do we wait and see if it does actually start to push down lower? It doesn't look like it's really convincingly trying to sell off at this point in time, so we have to sit and wait. Yes, it's nice that we're now getting a red candlestick forming, but we have to wait until that candlestick has finished and closed to see if it breaks below this previous area of resistance, which may be forming support right now. So we'll see. This is where patience is important, because eventually, 2 minutes later, price then does start to sell off, as anticipated, and I finally moved my stop down to my entry, so now it's a free trade, and it's now a case of managing the trade and seeing how much profit we can take out of it. So we're 50 minutes later from when the news came out, and we can see that price has continued to fall. So there is definitely a downward momentum on here. Price has been pulling back at certain points, and now we can see it's turned at this stage. We're on a 5-minute chart now instead of the 1-minute chart, so we're moving into a larger time frame. We can see that price has crossed over the MACD. It's pushing down on the RSI as well. We are coming down into this previous area of support. If we look down here, if we actually put on the main one, which is the 135.55, so we're only 5 points away from that. We are looking at price from within a very small time frame. If I just pause it and we go into a higher time frame, and when we look at the 15-minute, we can see that if we do break below this area here of the 135.55, we have the potential to go significantly lower. We could possibly get down to the 135.35 down here, and then all the way down to the 135.18. So it's actually been a good turning point here with the news, where we've caught it, and we need to just wait and see how this continues to map out as time goes on. After a while, we can now see that there's some sideways movement and consolidation in the price, so therefore the market has reacted to the negative news, and all the negative news or the market reaction is now finished. Price is starting to turn and push back up. So this is a point in which to exit the trade, bank around about 10 points of profit, and look for the next opportunity. At 2:30 today, there's some more news coming out on the US dollar. So that's really it. That's about how to trade the news, how to look for the turning points. In this instance, the news has actually impacted on the value of the euro and caused it to fall. So it confirmed with the view, which is buy the rumour and sell the fact, and that's what's basically happened. Prior to the news coming out, euro went up in value, and then information came out and sold off. So that's really it from FountainFX today. Happy trading. We will catch you tomorrow. Bye bye.